Welcome to In the Nook Farm, August 9th, 2023 in Burnsville, West Virginia. I thought the ducks could say hi first because you'll hear them anyways. Come on, May, let's go. Going through the main entrance. Some sweet little violas. Which way to go? I think we'll start this way. This first bed has annuals and perennials. So there's cosmos, mountain mint, peonies. There's a rose in here somewhere. Goldenrod, not blooming yet. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna slowly turn. It's hard to know which way to go, really, but I don't want you to miss this beautiful bloom. James Galway is a David Austin rose with the most gorgeous hips. This arbor has King of the North grapes on it. It smells good too. It's not as highly fragrant as some of our other roses, but we still very much like it. Going in now for you to see the blooms of the mountain mint. We make hydrosol with this, as well as many of the other plants we grow, and it's also used in our tea blends. Comfrey, cosmos blooming, that mountain mint, asparagus was really lovely earlier this year. On this side we have bee balm. Along the borders, not that you can really tell, but we've interplanted pollinator plants and wildflowers and herbs, and then the center of the beds, the idea is that that's where veggies can go, but a lot of times the flowers have taken precedent, but we use them in our tea blends too. This is lovely hyssop, and I'll back up so you can see the August pathway is narrow between the goldenrod. Oh, I don't want to forget to mention the butterfly weed, one of the host plants for monarch butterflies. Marigolds are blooming and looking lovely. Winter squashes are coming on, and tomatoes. Kale. Monarda. I forgot to show you that in the first bed, but that's okay. We have plenty. It's a daily chore or task to squash bugs and larvae. Trying to control those. Okay, I have to gingerly step through leaves. There we go. Disaster averted. More daylilies and squash. This is Hopi red dye amaranth. The leaves are edible, and it also produces this ancient green amaranth and can be used as a dye. Plus, it's beautiful. It can also be a dried flower. The chives we have around the borders, and they rebloom frequently. Borage has been absolutely lovely this year. And I wish you could smell those. Those are some of the roses actually in this section that we use in our rose water or hydrosol spray. May it's found shade under the grape arbor. We're redoing some of the areas again out here. Our grapes are looking so beautiful. Not yet ready. That's okay. These are Concord grapes. This is Avonlea. Yeah, and Mayette. Abby likes to stay pretty close. On the greenhouse in the summer, we have a green screen of plants. And so there's a trumpet vine and loofah, gourds. There's a rose on the end, scarlet emperor, runner bean. Tomatoes are tucked in pretty much everywhere in the garden. The sage bloomed earlier this year. Look forward to it reblooming again. Lemon balm. What you're looking at, so tall, are Jerusalem artichokes. They have an edible tuber, part of the helianthus sunflower family, and have a beautiful flower on them. More bee balm and lavender, daisies, cress. Gonna have to thin some of this goldenrod. Going down this path, we have some creeping red thyme, which is starting to fill in nicely. Echinacea. The last daylily, I think, of the year. We'll see. Could be wrong. More goldenrod. This bed is full of daylilies, and then peonies. There's a rose. Mostly perennials. A few annuals get tucked in. And this bed has more asparagus, roses, lined with lavender, and some little violets, all under the canopy of the beautiful Franklinia tree. Franklinia is no longer cultivated in the wild. And so we're part of the conservation efforts for this beautiful, beautiful tree. We sell the seeds and a few plants. I'll see if I can find one of the immature seed pods to show you. It's hard because I keep looking at the pollinators. Here's one. They turn brown when they're ready to be harvested. The hummingbirds, all the butterflies and bees. Everybody loves this tree. And it blooms from sometimes late July, August for sure. And it goes until frost, which for us, last year actually it went in and it bloomed until November. And the leaves turn a beautiful deep scarlet red. You can see some of them. are very pretty, but they get much deeper than that. This bed is the backside of the daylily bed. That was a duck. I don't know if you heard. They like to talk all the time. But we have kale, chives. I need to thin out goldenrod from this bed. Oregano, thyme. Our mulberries this year didn't produce very well, but last year we had just a beautiful bumper crop and have jam from last year that we're still enjoying. It's lunchtime. All the pollinators are eating their lunch. I love the different cosmos. We'll go over to the red raised beds now. We have carrots and all kinds of salad greens, chicory, lettuces, kale. This burgundy. It's called cranberry hibiscus or false roselle. And the leaves are edible, and it also produces a flower that is really lovely and edible. It can be used as tea too. Tomatoes, tomatillos. Oh, I'll pan back in. Abby's resting. Yeah. And the ducks. You can see them. Hopefully they'll be quiet. Who knows? Quinoa. The leaves are edible. And it's one of the ancient grains we're looking to harvesting later. We have some birdhouse gourds growing on the fence outside the chicken enclosure. These are our garden chickens. Most of them are in during the heat of the day. And birdhouse gourds. Our peas are just starting to come up. We've been planting fall crops of peas and beans, more carrots and kale. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, radishes will get planted soon. Maybe a few beets. So nice having the annuals interspersed with the vegetables. We do cut some of the flowers. We have basil and oregano lining this bed. This is a newer area for us, this terraced area. It's the first year it's been planted. It's a little steep, but thankfully it's been well navigated. Some winter squashes and pumpkins, tomatoes. Let's see. Little pumpkins down here. We've been able to harvest a few tomatoes, not that many yet. Most are still green. A few okra, This is another mulberry. We transplanted this so the other would have more space, and subsequently this one will too. The last of our sunflowers. The others have all come and gone. Earlier today there were 2 swallowtails and a bee on there. So pretty. Our farm is along the Little Canal River in Burnsville, West Virginia. And a few years ago we put up deer fencing to try to keep the deer out of the garden. So now we mostly deal with rabbits and chipmunks in the garden. This rose, though not in bloom, is so wonderful. It's nearly thornless. It's called Zephyrine Drowen. It's an old rose, 1868, and has a really pretty bright pink bloom. And it does rebloom, but the nearly thornless part is really nice, and it's highly, highly fragrant. Along with it, some jewelweed. The hummingbirds love the jewelweed. Those orange trumpet flowers. Bees really enjoy it too. If we go along this way a little bit more, we have some shiitake logs that were recently soaked. And hopefully in 10 days, we'll have some mushrooms. That would be nice. More pumpkins, winter squash. Pumpkins have taken over the compost pile, which is fine. We're expanding the compost pile anyways, but it's a little difficult to navigate right now. Our area of potted plants, lemongrass. All of these don't overwinter well for us, so we keep them in pots. So there's geraniums and jasmine, pineapple sage, rosemary, figs. All of these get to go in the greenhouse for winter. And these are some younger plants that hopefully next year will get to be planted out. Except the citrus. That won't withstand the cold here either. That's another one of our winter squashes with some tomatoes that were planted while the squash was a baby. And yeah, have no idea how we're going to harvest those, but we'll figure it out. Go along. Not kidding, this thing's the real deal, this winter squash. This one's smaller than one that's harder to get on camera. But we're looking forward to them immensely. So this is our garden in August. I will attempt to also video in September as things change. I think the next big thing to bloom, oh, here's another angle of that Jerusalem artichoke. The next big thing to bloom is the goldenrod, as far as for blooming the first time this year. We'll have more roses, flushes of different things. Thank you for coming on a garden tour with us today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We do ask that you like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for visiting today. Have a beautiful day.